For me, printing the linocut has always been the hardest part of the whole process. I like carving the block because that part makes sense to me. But printing is pretty picky and it's easy for it to come out looking like poop from a butt. So we're going to go over the best way to roll your ink out and to press your paper, and then we're going to reveal the image. Keep in mind that your first print is often just here to teach you humility. So for that first one, I would just recommend using a piece of paper that you're not all that attached to. So here are my tips to get good results and save you some money along the way. Alright, so for the equipment, you're going to need a brayer, and it's important to keep this intact and not damage it. A bump on it or a scratch on it is going to hurt your final print. I like to roll out my ink on a slab of glass. I just picked this guy up from Goodwill. I got a picture frame and took the glass out, and I'm already saving you money. This is block printing ink. Definitely get ink that is very specific to block printing or lino cutting. And then just scoop out a small amount, not a lot. You're going to ignore this advice, but I'm going to tell you anyways. And then roll it out in all directions. Get all sides of your brayer. And you'll know you're done when you see this exact texture. And you'll get a good eye for this eventually, but this is a close-up of what the texture looks like that you're going for. It's like a sticky sounding thin layer. Anything more or less than this and you're f***ed, honestly. Roll this onto the block. I pick one direction and I just hit it a few times. I'm doing multiple thin layers. And keep in mind that you're going to be putting the paper on the stamp and not the stamp on the paper typically. This paper that I'm using here is a bleached mulberry bark paper. You'll actually save some money by avoiding newsprint, and also this one is super beautiful, and I really like this paper because of how absorbent it is, which I have grown to prefer. It's very forgiving. This particular brand is extremely thin, but it has some pretty results. And if you're using a thicker paper or a newsprint, you're not going to see as much bleed here as you are with this guy. Moderately press down on the paper. I used to use a spatula. You can kind of go over it with one of those, which works fine. Hands are honestly fine for this size. Just don't be too aggressive here because you could tear or bend your sheets. And then this is the part where you peel the paper up really slowly. And then you can say, oh, okay, out loud. And this is going to be the correct response regardless of how your print comes out. And it's okay if you get some flops. When mine get too inky, sometimes I just wash off my linoleum, dry it, and then I start again. Alright, so let's whip out the Barren. I'm applying an amount of pressure. Yeah, maybe it's just moderate. And to reiterate, you can save some money here by buying some of these unique papers in bulk. Like mulberry bark paper is good, Locta is good. Locta is a little more expensive. And then just roll out ink on a glass picture frame. You don't need anything fancy. And if you're a paper maker, you can actually shred all your failed attempts in a blender, and you can turn it back into sheets of paper. And here's the secret they don't want you to know. If you have a beautiful print, but it has just a flaw, you can actually just use a Sharpie pen and touch that up in an emergency. Then when you're done, just toss all your equipment into the sink. And if you want to download this specific design for free and try to cut it out, I have it on my website for you for free. The link is in the description. And this design will be on my Etsy eventually if you want one. Thanks for watching.